Hello guys, welcome to another session. In this session we are going to look into the variable scoping in Python. So let's look into the what are the topics we are going to cover in this session. So basically we are going to look into that what is variable scoping, types of variable scope. We will look it with the help of example. We will understand all this thing with the help of example. And then we will also look into the global keyword. It is pretty much straightforward this topic is. So let's understand what is variable scoping is. So let's look into the formal definition first, then we will understand with an example. So basically a scope refers to the visibility of variables. In other words, which part of program can see or use it. Normally every variable has a global scope. Once defined, every part of your program can access a variable. It is very useful to be able to limit a variable scope to a single function. So what does it means? So basically a variable within a program has some scope. Either it will fall into global scope or it will fall into local scope. So what does it mean? So let's understand the variable scoping. But prior to that, first understand that what is local variable scope and what is global variable scope. To understand that, we will design two functions. One is called def fun1, and here we are going to create a variable a equal to 1, and we will print this variable a. So this is very simple function where we are having a variable and we are printing the value of that variable. So this is, and again we are going to define another function fun2, and here we are going to define another variable a b equal to 2, and we are printing the value b. So if you look into that, this a is only known to this function. If you try to access this variable in this function, so it is, see here, it is telling that it is undefined. Why is it so? Because the scope of this variable is local, which is local to the function 1 only. So it is not known over here. So if you will run it, it will throw an error. So here you will find that it is undefined. And if you try to print it, now if you will call this function, you have defined it. Now call the functions. Let's call the functions now. Fun2, if you will call it here, then it throws error. What error? It throws a is not defined. Why? Because we have defined it in this function, not in this function. So that means this is local variable. This is local to the function 1, this variable. So remember that it is a local variable. A is local to function 1, and here b is local to function 2. B is local to function 2. Now the question is, then what is global variable? So global variable, we can understand it now. So here suppose that if we have another variable g we have defined over here, and that the value is 10. Now I want to use this g variable in this function. If we will access it, g equals to, and we will try to print g, and we will remove it, and we will also try to print over here g. Now run it. See here, if we will run it, then what will happen over here? Now if you call the function 2 and run it, it print 10. Why? See here, g is not defined over here, but it has an access to this. Why? Because the scope of g is global. So this is one of the way by which you can define the global variable. Now next we will understand that global keyword. So we will use other example and we will understand the global keyword. So now we have understand the local and global scoping. So let's understand that global keyword. For example, if we have defined max equal to 100, and here we have defined a function print max some value over here, our user defined function, and here we are going to print the value of max. So to do that, max. And now when we are calling over here that max equal to max plus 1, now once you run it, it will throw an error. So you loaded it, now you try to execute it, it will give you an error. Why? Because local variable max referenced before assignment. So there is no reference is being done. So how to resolve this thing? So to resolve this thing, we are going to use something called global keyword. So here we are telling that max is a global variable. So this way the issue will be resolved. Now you will run it. Once you will run it and now try to execute it, so it executed it. So what it does, whatever we have assigned over here, it incremented that value and it printed it. And the issue of variable scoping, which was but that is not being bounded and it given unbounded local error, how we have resolved the issue? We have resolved the issue with the global keyword. So this is all about the variable scoping. This is a small topic, but it is very important to understand the global and local variable scoping. If you have any question about this topic, you can write me the question in my Twitter handle. I will answer that. So this is what I wanted to cover in this topic. See you in the next session. Bye bye.